We have been inundated here at the All in Crypto channel with requests to cover Cardano from a price point of view. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing in this video. Now, before we dive into that, I think fundamentally Cardano is going to do exceptionally well from its market positioning, and that actually enabling it to be part of the already filed for and up and coming crypto indexes that are going to be traded on the largest stock markets in the world and potentially attract billions of dollars. You know, Cardano is a top 10 cryptocurrency. It currently sits in that 9th position. Within these indexes, you are going to have stable coins taken out of them because, of course, stable coins are stable coins. You might as well hold dollars. And stable coins are really the evolution of dollars and money. But Cardano is going to do well, I think, this bull market through grace of being a top 10 cryptocurrency. And actually, that was the reason, which has been highlighted by Bo Hines, David Sachs, that Trump mentioned it in regards to a digital asset strategic reserve. Through grace of its market cap positioning, it is going to be added into and receives flows, which is why it's often such a big deal when a company makes it to the S&P 500, flows as a result of being in the indexes. And actually, indexes for the cryptocurrency market look really good. This is a chart that we've been predicting upside for, and we continue to get a concession of technical patterns heading or seeing us further go in the direction that we're expecting. But this is Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund. You can see we have a higher projection for this. It broke out of its most recent pattern being an inverse head and shoulders. You've got a concession of inverse head and shoulders here, and it's supporting around that 30 weekly moving average. You've also got Bitwise's top 10 crypto index fund, or 10 crypto index fund. Again, we're expecting higher prices for this, and ARK's crypto basket ETP. And as we see indexes get approved in regards to ETFs with the United States, that's going to attract billions of dollars, in my opinion, of investment and purchasing for the assets that underpin them. And Cardano, again, through its grace, and I think this is a real narrative that sees it do very well this bull market, or certainly do well this bull market. Everything's going to do well this bull market, some better than others. I do have larger positions in other cryptocurrencies, just to be totally transparent, but I think Cardano rises with the tide. And I think through grace of being in that 9th position, it's going to do exceptionally well, or it's going to do well. Now, the request that we had was to cover it from a price point of view, and that is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take a bit of a zoomed out approach first of all. And you guys that are regularly viewers of the channel will know that the way I like to look at the markets is through phase analysis. Now, phase analysis breaks the markets down into 4 phases. You've got a cumulative phase, a phase 1, an uptrending phase, a phase 2, a topping phase, a phase 3, and a phase 4, which is, of course, a downtrend. And even within Cardano's, short-ish history, going back to 2018, or 2017, I should say, when it was kind of launched or came onto the markets, you can see those phases playing out. And if you look at where we are today, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the cusp of continuation in phase 2. And phase 2 has already been confirmed, in my opinion, and was confirmed with this breakout here. We'll put the drawback on for the sake of this. So this was your kind of accumulative double bottom-esque phase that you broke out of. You've then pulled back, supported in and around your 30 weekly moving average, and you'll notice that we have the 30 weekly moving average on the schematic because it is a useful tool. The kind of rules with it are, or the useful nature of it is, that it will allow you to kind of have an understanding of what a market's doing or what kind of a phase it's in. When it's going and kind of consolidating in and around the 30 weekly moving average price action, you're either in phase 1 or phase 3. When you're below it, you're typically in phase 4, and when you're above it, you will expect it to act as support and see continuation in phase 2. And that is where we are currently supporting today, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm here to tell you that from the perspective of how I view the markets of phase analysis, I think you've got an amazing time ahead of you in regards to phase 2 continuation, phase 2 now being initiated, and continuation in that being an uptrend expected. Also, if you look at it from the sort of 30 weekly moving average point of view, you can see history, and we're going to look at ADA dominance in just a second, is very much rinse and repeating. So in regards to how markets move, Cardano looks great. In regards to where it is relative to its 30 weekly moving average, you can see we're running and holding this as support, just like we did previously back in September 2020, before we saw a monumental run to the upside. And history, ladies and gentlemen, is very much repeating. And of course, we have technical patterns, or now a concession of technical patterns, all taking Cardano to the upside. We have a technical pattern taking us to $2.99. And then we have this inverse head and shoulders that is likely going to see you get to $7.10. And we covered at the start of the video what the narrative is that sees that take place. This industry, this asset class, is yet to even be allowed to become that. And we're seeing that being enacted and enabled with the new Trump administration. So when we look at ADA from a fundamental point of view, we've given you the reason why we think it's going to do well. When we look at it from a kind of phase analysis point of view, which is really how the markets work, this is evident all over the place, and it's why we teach it, is because it's how it works. And if you can understand what phase you're in or going into, you can do well as an investor. So Cardano looks great as a result of that. Historically, it really is just rinse and repeating in relation to its 30 weekly moving average. It looks good. And also technically from a pattern, a traditional technical pattern point of view, it looks very good also, certainly for continuation. And the thing is, each one of these things individually give us confluence to the overall picture, and that is that Cardano is going to go significantly higher than where it currently is today. In fact, we're looking at a 10x from current prices, and I do think you're going to see that. So history very much just rinse and repeating. What I want to do now, and we don't see people doing analysis on this, is actually talk about ADA dominance. And again, you can kind of see phase analysis playing out through here again. And if we look at what happened last time in regards to history rinse and repeating, you can see that Cardano formed this kind of inverse head and shoulder. I'll just use the draw tool to quickly highlight this being your left shoulder, your head, and then your right shoulder. And this actually pretty much perfectly predicted, and I have my chart on log, by the way, the top of the prior bull market in terms of dominance, or as far as dominance, I should say. Let's get this bang on. As far as dominance was concerned. So you can see this literally nailed the perfect top for Cardano from a dominance point of view. And obviously with Cardano's dominance climbing, that's very likely going to happen in an environment where the overall space is being uplifted, because we know that if Bitcoin was crashing, Cardano likely wouldn't be bucking the trend, in my opinion. And let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen, at what is currently setting up today and where this means Cardano is likely going to go. So we've looked at it from a price point of view and we think it's going to do well. But let's talk about where Cardano is going to go from a dominance point of view, which gives us further confluence in regards to fundamentally what we think is going to happen, and technically what we think is going to happen in regards to the Cardano USD chart. If you look at ADA DOM, again, not only is history rinse and repeating from a USD point of view, it's also rinse and repeating from a Cardano dominance point of view. And actually, we'll give you the prediction. So we've given you a number of price predictions. $2.99 is I believe that's a double bottom target that we have. And then, of course, we have an inverse head and shoulders target taking you to $7.10. And in regards to ADA dominance, let's tell you guys, and it did so well in predicting the last bull market, where we think this is going in terms of overall dominance. And I think you are looking at a 3.5% ADA dominance. And that's shy of the 4.3% it got to previously. But I think that could have a lot to do with the size of the space at the moment, potentially stable coins and things like that, and how they're going to play a role. And we're going to see, actually, I think stablecoin dominance potentially do quite well. Certain stablecoins like Tether lose dominance within that fight. But really, this was a great video to do, because we spoke about fundamentally how Cardano is going to do very well through virtue of being a top 10 cryptocurrency, and that means it's going to likely be included in many funds out there. We've been bullish on funds for a while. It's given us a confidence in regards to being bullish on the overall space, or as a factor in regards to being bullish on the overall space. We've spoken about, from a technical point of view, looking at Cardano USD, how we think it's going to do well, and there's lots of signals pointing in that direction. And actually from a ADA dominance point of view, we think this is going to do rather well also, which gives us this kind of complete picture or lots of confluencing factors in regards to the direction that Cardano is likely going to embark on. So I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're an ADA holder, you've got a great time ahead of you. If you do have Cardano and you consider staking it, do stake to the all-in, ALLIN, Cardano stake pool. We will be looking to do some more things with that in regards to if anyone's interested in getting involved in any of the DREP stuff and stuff like this. So do go over and support that. We've been running a Cardano stake pool, I think, since 2021. Start of 2021. It could be 2020. But we're doing it a hell of a long time. We're going to continue to do so. And even though ADA isn't a large position of mine, I do think there's other cryptocurrencies that are going to outperform it. That's just my own personal opinion. I do think it's going to do well. I do think it's going to rise with the overall tide. And certainly when you look technically at the USD chart, ADA USD or ADA dominance, or fundamentally what the story is behind the cryptocurrency space, Cardano is definitely going to be a part of that and do well as a result of it all. That's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this content as much as I enjoyed delivering it. And I'll see you all in the next one.